the war was originally a war between, again, Austria-Hungary and Serbia, but because of the agreements with other nations that had vowed to fight with their allies in case of a war, they all got involved in a war that was that small, which is between two nations. They all jumped in, and it became World War I, or the war to end all wars, as some people called it later. And for a while, it went good for Germany. They fought, especially in the against the Russian Empire. They defeated them several times, and it was pretty much either a mixed or loss. In the Western Front, they won some, but it was most of the time mixed or a loss against the Western Allies. Even though they did several times, they would gain ground. Against Belgium, they mowed all through Belgium and got into France and took several areas of France for a while. But it was basically almost a stalemate. Germany would gain some ground, then France would gain some ground, then Britain would gain some ground, then France, then Germany would gain it back. And the trench warfare was just a stalemate throughout. Nobody could make a break. Nobody could actually penetrate the other side. It was just a stalemate. It was really stupid, really. It was stupid, really. Stupid way of fighting. You shoot a little while, make them run, then you charge them, and then they just jump on their machine gun, shoot you, mow you down, and then when you retreat, they come back, and then you do it. It's just a wishy-washy. It's just stupid. Later, the German Empire started to beat the Allies because they were both all drained financially and materially. But when the United States got involved, and on the Allied side, within a year, the German Empire, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire were defeated. In the post-war time, post-World War I saw the disillusion that the German Empire was just dissolved and become the Weimar Republic. Austria-Hungary became separate nations, Austria and Hungary. And the Ottoman Empire was broken up into separate nations run by the World War I victors before they gave them up. You know, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, you know, Palestine, you know, Syria, all that kind of, you know, basically that's all those nations, Turkey, they were all broke up. But then, just like that, all three of these empires went away just like that. Three of them were dissolved and ceased to exist. Here's something also interesting. The Weimar Republic, that's what the German Empire become after they were defeated. They become the Weimar Republic. They were in turmoil much of its brief existence. They only lasted about 10 years or so. Because after that, there was a lot of political turmoil that sprung up because of the loss of World War I and the severe debt they were in and the destruction of the country, the debt that they'd been placed on them. It was just political turmoil. There was no jobs. There was no homes to go to. Most of them, it was just awful. There was communists, socialists, liberal Democrats, and all others wanting to try to gain power in the collapsed nation. Because the Weimar Republic was just a mess, and people hated the Weimar Republic, and they just wanted something else. The nation was they had been stripped of their military power. They were nothing like they were in the German Empire. The German Empire was a powerful nation. The Weimar Republic was nothing. They had lost all their power, military power, economic power, everything, industrial power. It was just havoc throughout the nation. They were forced to pay a crippling war debt that they couldn't pay because they were already. Because of all the inflation, the hyperinflation, the marks were worth nothing really. They were useless. They couldn't even. They had to rebuild their own nation. They couldn't even rebuild their own nation. They couldn't pay the debt, and they couldn't really do anything. And there's a picture of a German woman buying a loaf of bread with a wheelbarrow of German marks. That's how worthless the money was. Then, if you know your history, the National Socialists arrived, led by Hitler, promising to bring Germany out of the ashes of World War I and bring them to power again and make them a prominent nation and bring up the jobs and bring the military back up and make them a prominent, prosperous nation again. All those promises, everybody loved them. And you know the rest is history. A darker war named World War II rose up a little over 20 years after the First World War. The Holocaust, the murder of over 11 million people, 6 million of them Jews. Germany was in ruins after World War II, even worse than before. The whole nation was just leveled. And half of Germany under Soviet captivity. Eastern Germany was put under Soviet captivity for over 40 years. That was great. That's nice, isn't it?